Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra in Delhi, launches week-long campaign to free India of garbage. Prime Minister says Swachh Bharat is the best tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. The campaign has boosted the self-confidence and willpower of people. Centre and Kerala government announce relief for families of deceased in Kozhikode air crash. Detailed probe on. Centre directs 13 districts in 8 states and union territories with high COVID-19 mortality rate to focus on reducing mortality rate. And Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen says Indo-Bangla relationship is rock solid and historic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has boosted the self-confidence and willpower of every countryman and its impact is visible on the life of the poor. The Prime Minister was speaking after inaugurating the Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra in New Delhi this evening.
स्वच्छ भारत अभियान ने हर देशवासी के आत्मविश्वास और आत्मबल को एक नई ऊर्जा दी है, नई ताकत दी है, उसको बढ़ाया है। लेकिन इसका सबसे अधिक लाभ देश के गरीब के जीवन पर दिख रहा है। स्वच्छ भारत अभियान से हमारी सामाजिक चेतना समाज के रूप में हमारे आचार व्यवहार में भी स्थायी परिवर्तन आया है।
Mr. Modi said cleanliness drive has been a big support in the fight against coronavirus.
देश के बच्चे बच्चे में पर्सनल और सोशल हाइजीन को लेकर जो चेतना पैदा हुई है, उसका बहुत बड़ा लाभ कोरोना के विरुद्ध लड़ाई में भी मिल रहा है। आप जरा कल्पना कीजिए, अगर कोरोना जैसी महामारी 2014 से पहले आती तो क्या स्थिति होती? शौचालय के अभाव में क्या हम संक्रमण की गति को कम करने से रोक पाते? क्या तब लॉकडाउन जैसी व्यवस्थाएं संभव हो पाती? जब भारत की 60% आबादी खुले में शौच के लिए मजबूर थी, स्वच्छाग्रह ने कोरोना के खिलाफ लड़ाई में हमें बहुत बड़ा सहारा दिया है, माध्यम दिया है।
The Prime Minister said in the last few years, lakhs of people across the country who are inspired by Mahatma Gandhi have made Swachh Bharat mission a goal of their lives.
बीते वर्षों में देश के कोने कोने में लाखों लाख स्वच्छाग्रहियों ने स्वच्छ भारत अभियान को अपने जीवन का लक्ष्य बना दिया है। यही कारण है कि 60 महीने में करीब करीब 60 करोड़ भारतीय शौचालय की सुविधा से जुड़ गए। इसकी वजह से देश की बहनों को सम्मान, सुरक्षा और सुविधा मिली। लाखों गरीब बच्चों को बीमारियों से बचने का उपाय मिला। इसकी वजह से देश के करोड़ों दलितों, वंचितों, पीड़ितों, शोषितों, आदिवासियों को समानता का विश्वास मिला।
Mr. Modi said a comprehensive Quit India campaign is going on against poverty, garbage, compulsion of open defecation and compulsion of wandering for fetching water. The Prime Minister announced a week-long campaign from today till the 15th of August to free India of garbage. He said Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra is a tribute to Mahatma Gandhi's efforts towards cleanliness.
आज के ही दिन 1942 में गांधी जी की अगुवाई में आजादी के लिए एक विराट जन आंदोलन शुरू हुआ था। अंग्रेजों भारत छोड़ो का नारा उस दिन लगा था। ऐसे ऐतिहासिक दिवस पर राजघाट के समीप राष्ट्रीय स्वच्छता केंद्र का लोकार्पण अपने आप में बहुत ही प्रासंगिक है। ये केंद्र बापू के स्वच्छाग्रह के प्रति 130 करोड़ भारतीयों की कार्यांजलि है, श्रद्धांजलि है।
The Prime Minister said for today's world there cannot be a greater inspiration than Gandhiji. He said the whole world is coming forward to adopt Gandhiji's life and philosophy. He said last year when Gandhiji's 150th birth anniversary was celebrated in a grand manner all over the world, it was unprecedented. After taking a tour of the Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra, the Prime Minister interacted with 36 school students from Delhi representing the 36 states and union territories at the amphitheatre of the Kendra, adhering to social distancing protocols.
मेरे सामने एक प्रकार से लघु भारत है। देश के अलग अलग राज्यों के और अलग अलग राज्यों की वेशभूषा में आप सभी बच्चों के साथ में बात करके आज पूरे हिंदुस्तान के साथ बात कर रहा हूं। आप सभी मास्क पहन करके आए हैं और अपने दोस्तों के साथ 2 गज की दूरी भी बना करके बैठे हैं। आप सब नियमों का जिस तरह से पालन कर रहे हैं वो देख करके सचमुच में मन को बहुत आनंद हो रहा है। कोरोना से इस तरह लड़ाई लड़ने की यही हथियार है।
Union Minister for Jal Shakti Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Minister of State for Jal Shakti Ratan Lal Kataria and Drinking Water and Sanitation Secretary Parameshwaran Iyer were present on the occasion. Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra, an interactive experience center on the Swachh Bharat mission, was first announced by the Prime Minister on the 10th of April 2017 on the occasion of the centenary celebrations of Gandhiji's Champaran Satyagrah. In the first hall of the Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra, visitors will experience a unique 360-degree audio-visual immersive show which will narrate India's Swachhata story, a journey into the largest behavioral change in the history of the world. The second hall contains a series of interactive LED panels, hologram boxes, interactive games and much more to tell the story of the work done to achieve Bapu's vision of Swachh Bharat. The open-air displays in the lawns adjacent to Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra will showcase 3 exhibits which are anecdotes of the journey of India from Satyagrah to Swachhagrah. The artistic wall murals around the Kendra also chronicle the core elements of the mission's success. The installations at the Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra will introduce future generations to the successful journey of the world's largest behavioral change campaign, the Swachh Bharat mission. A balanced mix of digital and outdoor installations in the Kendra will impart information, awareness and education on Swachhata and related aspects. The Swachh Bharat mission has transformed rural sanitation in the country and has changed the behavior of over 55 crore people from open defecation to using a toilet. India has achieved high praise from the international community for this, and we have set a precedent for the rest of the world to follow. The mission is now in its second phase, aiming to take India's villages from open defecation-free ODF to ODF+, with a strong focus on sustaining ODF status and ensuring solid and liquid waste management for all.
The official death toll in the aeroplane crash that occurred in Karipur Airport in Kerala yesterday reached 18. That includes 14 adults and 4 children. In all, 143 injured passengers are admitted in various hospitals, among which 23 persons are seriously injured. A total of 23 passengers have been discharged from hospital so far. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said apart from declaring the state government compensation of 10 lakh rupees for the families of those who lost their life in the accident, the government will also be bearing the hospital expenses of the injured people. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri and Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan visited the site of the crash and took stock of the situation. Mr. Puri announced 10 lakh rupees interim relief for each of the deceased, 2 lakh rupees for the seriously injured, and 50,000 for those who suffered minor injuries in the flight mishap in Kozhikode. A high-level team, including Governor Arif Muhammad Khan, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, and other state ministers and officials, also visited Kozhikode and took stock of the situation. The Air India Express flight that was part of the Vande Bharat mission, carrying 190 passengers including crew from Dubai, skidded off the tabletop runway while landing at Karipur Airport late evening at 7:41 p.m. yesterday. The plane, after skidding from the runway, crash-landed nearly 35 feet below and split into 2 pieces.
Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen has said that the relation of Bangladesh with India is rock solid and historic while it has economic ties with China. He said our victory means India's victory, our development means India's development, and nothing can create problems in the growing relations between the two countries. He described Indo-Bangla ties as very strong. Dr. Momin made these remarks while visiting the Mujibnagar Mukti Jodha Memorial Complex in Dhaka today. Asking people not to compare the relations of Bangladesh with India and China, the foreign minister said that India is a big trading partner of Bangladesh and it wants more trade benefits from India. He said that the two countries have resolved major bilateral issues and made progress on the water sharing issue. He expressed confidence that other pending issues between the two countries will also be resolved soon. In Maharashtra, the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, which is probing the Palghar mob lynching incident, has filed a third charge sheet in the case in a local court. An official today said the CID has now filed a charge sheet in the third FIR, which was registered at Kasa police station in Palghar. The case relates to a police officer opening fire. He informed that the charge sheet was submitted in a Palghar court.
The divisional commanders level talks between India and China are in progress at Daulat Beg Oldi of the Indian side today. This is in continuation to the military level talks between India and China to ease the tensions at various friction points along the line of actual control in the eastern Ladakh region. Today's meeting is happening in the background of the fifth meeting at Churchul BPO between the corps commanders of India and China in the region. The previous meetings have discussed complete disengagement from very close points, especially at friction points like Pangong So and Depsang Plains. In the last two occasions, the focus was on de-engagement at Pangong So and Depsang Plains. In this background, Army Chief General Manoj Narwane on yesterday gave a call to the forces to be prepared for any eventuality in the borders. On the other hand, Vice Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Harjeet Singh Arora had visited the world's highest ALG, Daulat Beg Oldi, to review operational preparedness in eastern Ladakh.
India has said that it would like Sri Lanka to send the first international flight to the newly upgraded Kushinagar airport in Uttar Pradesh. This was conveyed by Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Mr. Gopal Bagle, during his meeting with Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa today to convey his best wishes following the latter's victory in the parliamentary elections. Mr. Bagle further said Prime Minister Narendra Modi is keen on promoting Buddhism ties and has placed a specific focus on initiating related projects not only in the area of tourism but also other sectors such as archaeology. Prime Minister Rajapaksa expressed condolences to all those impacted by the Air India crash yesterday. He also said he was happy to receive Prime Minister Modi's call on Thursday, even before the final results of elections were declared.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate and dedicate the submarine optical fibre cable OFC connecting Chennai and Port Blair to the nation on Monday through video conferencing. The submarine cable will also connect Port Blair to Swaraj Deep, Little Andaman, Car Nicobar, Kamorta, Great Nicobar, Long Island and Rangat. This connectivity will enable delivery of faster and more reliable mobile and landline telecom services to Andaman and Nicobar Islands at par with other parts of India. At present, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands have very weak telecom systems that hamper communications with the mainland and within the islands. The foundation stone for this project was laid by the Prime Minister on the 30th of December 2018 at Port Blair. Internet has become a fundamental need today and is connected to the daily work of every person. Prominent businessman and former president of the Andaman Chamber of Commerce, Girish Arora, expressed happiness over the project and said this will help in the promotion of tourism in Andaman and Nicobar.
OFC और इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी के आने से एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री में रेवोल्यूशन आ जाएगा। ये जो ट्रैवलर्स पोर्ट ब्लेयर आते हैं वो खुद एक तरह के आपके ब्रांड एम्बेसडर होते हैं, मार्केटिंग करते हैं, आपके डेस्टिनेशन को मार्केट करता है। ये हमारा एक बहुत बड़ा डिसएडवांटेज था। सोशल मीडिया पे हमारा प्रेजेंस कम होता था क्योंकि यहाँ पे लोगों के पास इंटरनेट एक्सेस ही नहीं होता था, बट वो अब नहीं रहेगा। चाहे वो हैवलॉक में हो, नील में हो, डिगलीपुर में हो या लिटिल अंडमान में हो, वहीं से इमीडिएटली फोटोग्राफ खींच के अपने ऑनलाइन सोशल मीडिया अकाउंट्स पे वो पोस्ट करेंगे, जिससे आने वाले दिनों में टूरिज्म को भी बहुत बेनिफिट मिलेगा। यूट्यूबर्स जो है वो इन्फ्लुएंसर्स बन सकेंगे, चाहे वो ट्रैवल हो, लाइफस्टाइल हो या वीडियोस बनाना हो। ब्लॉगर्स एक बहुत बड़ी कैटेगरी है जो यहाँ बैठ के दे कैन राइट कंटेंट राइटिंग।
Similarly, President of Andaman Association of Tour Operators M. Vinod expressed gratitude to the Prime Minister for this project and said it will prove to be a game changer for the tourism industry in Andaman. Now, tour operators will be able to make their bookings from anywhere.
मैं आप प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी को तहे दिल से शुक्रिया करना चाहूंगा। सबसे ज्यादा लोग यहाँ पर्यटन से जुड़े हुए हैं और हमें काफी समस्या होती थी नेटवर्क ना होने की वजह से, और हमारे मेनलैंड के जो काउंटर पार्ट एजेंट्स हैं वो काफी बुकिंग्स कर लेते थे, उनको सारी सुविधाएं थी। मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है OFC केबल के लॉन्च होने के बाद हमारे जो यहाँ पर्यटन से जुड़े हुए लोग हैं इनको काफी फायदा होगा, और चूंकि हमारा कंपटीशन डोमेस्टिक मार्केट से है तो हम भी अपने आप को तैयार रखेंगे। जब भी पर्यटन शुरू होगा हमारे लिए OFC केबल एक बहुत बड़ा वरदान साबित होगा और अंडमान पर्यटन के लिए ये एक गेम चेंजर होगा।
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra in New Delhi, launches week-long campaign to free India of garbage. Prime Minister says Swachh Bharat is the best tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. The campaign has boosted the self-confidence and willpower of the people. Centre and Kerala government announced relief for families of deceased in Kozhikode egg crash. Details probe on. Centre directs 13 districts and 8 states and union territories with high COVID-19 mortality rate to focus on reducing it. And Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen says Indo-Bangla relationship is rock solid and historic. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The Centre has directed state governments to focus all efforts on reducing COVID-19 mortality. The Union Health Ministry said coordinated, graded and proactive management of COVID-19 by the Centre, states and Union territories has ensured the national case fatality rate is on the slide. It currently stands at 2.04%. As part of the continuous process of review and hand-holding of states and union territories for collaborative management of COVID-19, 2 high-level virtual meetings were chaired by Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan to engage with the states reporting high case load and higher case fatality rate than the national average. It said the government is supporting them in efforts to prevent and reduce mortality due to COVID-19. The ministry said today's meeting focused on 13 districts concentrated in 8 states and union territories. These are Kamrup Metro in Assam, Patna in Bihar, Ranchi in Jharkhand, Alapura and Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, Ganjam in Odisha, Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, 24 Parganas North, Hooghly, Howrah, Kolkata and Malda in West Bengal. These districts account for nearly 9% of India's active cases and about 14% of COVID deaths. They also report low tests per million and high confirmation percentage. A surge has been observed in the daily new cases in 4 districts, Kamrup Metro in Assam, Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, Thiruvananthapuram and Alapura in Kerala. They were advised to ensure timely referral and hospitalization in view of reports from some districts of patients dying within 48 hours of admission. States were asked to ensure a timely assessment and make advanced preparedness for infrastructure like ICU beds and oxygen supply based on the prevailing caseload and the estimated growth rate.
The recovery rate from COVID-19 infection has further improved and it has now reached up to 68.32%. Union Health Ministry in a statement said that with 48,900 patients recovering in the past 24 hours, the country's total recoveries from COVID-19 has reached 14,27,005. At present, the active cases are 6,19,088, which account for 29.64% of the total positive cases. Such persons are under medical supervision either at hospitals or in home isolation. The ministry said due to coordinated implementation of test, track and treat strategy, the case fatality rate has been low when compared to the global scenario. The case fatality rate continued to fall progressively and now stands at 2.04%. The Health Ministry added that with focused efforts to reduce mortalities due to COVID-19, India has registered one of the lowest deaths per million at 30 as compared to the global average of 91 deaths per million. A total of 1,404 new confirmed cases of coronavirus were reported in Delhi during the past 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 1,44,127. The Delhi government has confirmed that over 1,29,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the past 24 hours, 1,130 people recovered and 16 deaths were reported in the national capital, taking the total to 4,098. Presently, the total number of active cases in the national capital is at 10,667.
Union Minister for Labour and Employment Santosh Kumar Gangwar has said that 21 employees' state insurance corporation hospitals across the country have been converted into dedicated COVID-19 hospitals. He said more than 2,400 isolation beds and 550 ICU beds with 200 ventilators have been made available in these hospitals. Mr. Gangwar said this while inaugurating a plasma bank at ESIC Medical College and Hospital Faridabad through video conference from Haryana Bhavan in New Delhi yesterday. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar was also present on the occasion. Meghalaya reported another COVID-19 death last evening, taking the total number of fatalities in the state to 6. According to Director of Health Services, Mr. Aman War, that the patient was admitted to the hospital for chronic kidney failure but was tested positive for COVID-19. Meanwhile, 17 new COVID-19 cases were reported today, taking the total number of active cases to 594. Meanwhile, 12 COVID-19 patients, taking the total number of recovered persons to 423.
Governor of Rajasthan, Kalraj Mishra, has expressed deep concern over the increasing number of corona patients in the state. Mr. Mishra said that people must take necessary precautions to protect themselves from COVID infection. He said that people should strictly follow safety measures and no one should be negligent about it. Health Minister Dr. Raghu Sharma has said that the death rate has come down from 2.34% to 1.5%. He said that efforts are being made to bring the death rate to zero in the state. In Uttar Pradesh, the state government has announced that economic activities in the state post-lockdown have returned to the normal routine. The state finance minister, Mr. Suresh Khanna, said that recovery of state revenues for the month of July is at 97.7% of the total revenue of the same month in the previous year. More from our correspondent.
State continues to test more than 1 lakh samples of COVID patients per day. Around 30 lakh samples have been tested in the state till date. Uttar Pradesh is now only 2 lakh samples behind the state of Tamil Nadu, which is currently number 1 in the cumulative testing figures. Medical Education Minister Suresh Khanna said that currently fatality rate from corona in a state is 1.75, which is far below than the national average and the average of other states. Meanwhile, with 4,800 new cases in the last 24 hours, current active COVID patients in the state are now 46,177. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, Lucknow.
In Madhya Pradesh, the number of COVID-19 cases in the state climbed to around 37,298 in the state, with 16 patients succumbing to the infection during the past 24 hours. The death toll rose to 962. More in this report.
As per the State Health Bulletin, 719 coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospitals yesterday, taking the number of recovered cases in the state to 27,621. There are now 8,715 active cases in the state. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has said that a target of 3 years has been set to make the state self-reliant. Addressing a series of 3-day Atmanirbhar Madhya Pradesh webinar series, Chief Minister sought suggestions from different sections of the society and subject experts for drafting a roadmap for Atmanirbhar Madhya Pradesh. Former Union Minister Suresh Prabhu, Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant and other experts took part in the webinar. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
A unique online patriotic film festival is underway as part of Independence Day celebrations organized by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. In a video message, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said, "We should celebrate 73 years of independence with the online Patriotic Film Festival, which will be on till the 21st of this month." Our correspondent has more details.
The festival is showcasing high-quality patriotic films daily at the website www.cinemasofindia.com free of cost. The festival showcases Indian history that marks the bravery of our freedom fighters. It aims at creating a festive and patriotic mood among the Indians across the globe. Critically acclaimed Films from various Indian languages including Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, Bangla, Gujarati and Malayalam are being showcased in the festival. A special edition of the film Gandhi by Sir Richard Attenborough is also made accessible and can be enjoyed by people with vision and hearing impairment. With Naseem Naqvi, Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar today made an aerial survey of the flood-affected areas of Kosi and Simanchal. This is his third aerial survey of the affected areas during the week. Mr. Kumar visited Purnia and Supaul and reviewed the prevailing flood situation. The Chief Minister inspected Kosi embankment and instructed engineers to step up flood protection work. Mr. Kumar stressed to intensify relief works in affected areas. Over 74 lakh people spread over 16 districts are reeling under the impact of floods. The flood situation is worst in Darbhanga, Muzaffarpur, East Champaran and Saran districts. 33 teams of NDRF and SDRF are carrying out relief and rescue operations in flood-affected areas. Over 5 lakh people have been evacuated so far. In all, 1,342 community kitchens have been set up for providing food to about 10 lakh people. The Indian Meteorological Department today said that the southwest monsoon will become active again in the coastal areas of Maharashtra on Monday and will remain so for the next 7 days. According to the IMD observations, the southwest monsoon is likely to become active on the west coast from the 10th to the 11th of August, including Mumbai. He further said that the situation is likely to continue for a week. The IMD has forecast generally cloudy skies with few spells of light to moderate rain or showers in the city and suburbs over the next 24 hours.
In Kerala, one more dead body was recovered today from the massive landslide hit region Pettimudi near Rajamala in Idukki district. With this, the death toll reached 26. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said that the rescue and search operations are in full swing in the region by 2 teams of National Disaster Response Force, police, fire force, armed force officials and local people. Continuous rain and broken communication is adversely affecting the search for missing persons. State government had announced 5 lakh compensation for the families of the people who lost their life in the landslide. Meanwhile, as heavy rain continues, Idukki and Wayanad district are the worst hit with widespread damage and multiple landslides being reported in the forest regions. Chief Minister informed that all necessary arrangements are being done as Met Department predicts very heavy rain in coming days in the state. Boats and special rescue teams are being made available in flood-prone regions. Over 18,000 people are in various relief camps across the state. As high waves and storm is predicted, fishing is banned in Kerala Lakshadweep coast. Mayush Shah for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
The India Meteorological Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rain in the Nilgiris, Coimbatore and Theni districts in Tamil Nadu for the next 48 hours. Some places in the Nilgiris are expected to witness extremely heavy rain. In the last 24 hours, Devala in the Nilgiris witnessed the maximum of 34 centimeters rain. Almost all regions adjoining the Western Ghats in the state received moderate rains in the last 24 hours.
Now let us take a look at tomorrow's weather update. The national capital Delhi will have thunderstorm with rain. The minimum temperature will be 28 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will experience generally cloudy skies with heavy rain. The minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature around 39 degrees. On to north in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature in Jammu will be 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 32 degrees. The city will witness a thunderstorm with rain. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be 19 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30 degrees Celsius. Ladakh will have generally partly skies with a possibility of rain or thunder shower or dust storm. The temperature will hover between 18 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 19 and 35 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, there will be thunderstorm with rain. The minimum temperature will be 22 degrees Celsius, while the maximum temperature will be around 36 degrees.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra in Delhi, launches week-long campaign to free India of garbage. Prime Minister says Swachh Bharat is the best tribute to Mahatma Gandhi. The campaign has boosted the self-confidence and willpower of people. Centre and Kerala government announced relief for families of deceased in Kozhikode air crash. detailed probe on. Centre directs 13 districts in 8 states and union territories with high COVID-19 mortality rate to focus on reducing it. Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen says Indo-Bangla relationship is rock solid and historic. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.